the first quarter was really positive, but then just really dramatically fell away. How did you sort of see how that happened, I guess?
Yeah, first quarter is probably how we envisaged, I guess, our performance going, and I think we had 8 shots to 3. Didn't capitalise fully on. I think we had +6 inside 50s, and our inside-outside ball was okay. Wasn't perfect, but certainly felt we had control of the game. But the centre bounce blitz in the second, obviously, that was extreme. We weren't able to hold up. You obviously can't get extra numbers back when it's coming out like that. So we tried to change the mix. They ramped up their work rate, and even to get a secondary spillage, they were first to that. I think when that happens, you start getting guys really trying to influence, but then you lose all shape around contests, and I think that's what happened. And clearly the backs are under pressure when it's coming like that. So that's as disappointing a quarter, but certainly don't think it defines where we're at. We're disappointed with today. We need to take responsibility. We've played a strong brand of footy for probably the last 6-7 weeks. We let ourselves down today. We spoke about that in the rooms after. Just missed opportunity, and these games are everywhere around the league. When you look, whether it's Brisbane v Hawthorn, you drop off for a small period, and teams come back into form really quickly. So Carlton were able to do that today. They were impressive in that second quarter, and so we need to lick our wounds. But I think it's, as the season shows, it's who bounces back from, whether it's these type of performances or these type of quarters, are the ones that continue to move forward, and we need to make sure we're one of those teams, which I think we did at the start of the year, and we didn't get caught with ladder position and that type of stuff. We'll just get back to work.
How do you, I suppose, what's your message to the players? The level of disappointment will be high in that quarter, but as you say, it doesn't define you.
Yeah, I probably repeated that little spiel I gave them was similar to the players. I'm obviously a little bit more animated at half time to try and get a response, but we talk pretty openly and making sure that guys, look, I guess long story short, we said we need to take responsibility, but it can't be a bear on our back because there's another game next week. But you need to be able to move forward, but whilst taking responsibility for what can you contribute when the game's going that way, and I think that'll be our review in and around how did we go, what could we stop, what could we control. Understanding Carlton were very strong in that second quarter, but not, no team should concede 9 goals, and we did, so we have to wear that and bounce back.
Does disappointment also come from the fact that in the last couple of years the club's been in a similar situation where you seem to be on the verge of take that next big step in your development, but then you just seem to, for want of a better phrase, fail the test like you can't do today? Is that kind of a bit of disappointment from that aspect?
No, look, we're just disappointed. Missed opportunity. I think, we've had some tests the last couple of weeks where the Bulldogs who were in the 8, the Adelaide Crows were in the 8, and we won those games, and we certainly weren't saying, oh, look at us, we've passed a test. So I don't think we've failed a test. We've lost a game of footy that we would like to have won and played a lot better, certainly. And if we were to lose, we'd like to lose with a little bit more fight than what we did today. And so I think we'll keep it level as we did when we've had some good performances. I think that's been a strength of ours. And but again, notwithstanding, we're really disappointed with the way we played today. And I think we had a really strong week on the track post bye. So yeah, we'll have a look at what we might be able to do different. But in the end, when an opposition comes at you like that, you need to be able to put up more resistance, and we didn't.
Midfield was obviously humble in that second quarter, especially. Is that something that spurred on for the rest of the season?
No doubt it will. Knowing their midfield group, and to be fair to them, they've carried a big load and been so impressive. So I don't think I'll have to speak or poke the bear too much with that midfield group. I reckon they'll have some steely eyes this week. They're a bunch of competitors, and I think they'll go and have a look at it they'll get together individually and collectively and do something about it next game. But once again, credit to Carlton. They've been under the pump. Some individuals on and off the field, but they got together and played an outstanding game of footy, and got to give credit to them.
I guess the tackle count, how disappointing was that as well? I guess to lose by 10 goals, but also comprehensively done tackles as well.
Yeah, and the effectiveness. I think the first quarter at 73%, then we dropped to 50. So again, it ends up a little bit of piggy in the middle when you've got a couple that are half tackling and then it gets out on the outside. So funnily enough, when you have quarters like that, all of a sudden you look like your skills are poor and you're slow, but that can change really quickly. And at quarter time up in Darwin against Adelaide, we had the similar message. We've got to get our balance right, and they were able to that day, but today we didn't.
You've covered the absence of Tuchel pretty well, but does it point to that lack of leadership amongst that group, apart from when there's challenges like that?
Look, we'd love Tuke in the side, but I think that group have shown really good leadership. So we'll sit down with them, probably separate to what happened in the game, and maybe talk about how they handled that. I guess the feeling of that and influencing others. So always with the leaders, when you sit down around momentum, as we did the other week, coming back from a margin, we made sure, okay, why do you think we're able to do that? What were some of the things you were saying and doing out on the ground? I feel like we need to be really consistent how we review the game and not get too high or too low, and this will be one of those examples, and we'll dig into what we can do better. But obviously Tuke's our co-captain, so the quicker we get him back, the better. But certainly don't think there's a leadership void. We had a bad quarter, and ultimately that's almost the game, because then we're trying a few things after half time, and we didn't want to then just park the bus. We were trying to get back. We thought if we could get back within 5 or 6 goals, we'd be a chance, but we just couldn't break through that barrier.
How's he progressing?
Sorry?
How's he progressing?
Yeah, really well. So he'll be on the early side of his return, which we knew. He's a pro, so he's done everything possible. And what are we, round 14? He'll be in discussion, within 3 to 4 weeks, I reckon. And then he'll do some training next week, in fact. So I think he'll come to hand pretty quick, and I don't think he'll play VFL. He'll be ready.
What is it? I mean, your son's had run in this position before. Is there a different feel about how you attack the top half of the team?
Yeah, there is, because I think it's funny, when they talk about this group, everyone lumps the 10, 11 years together. Probably only got 2 guys left from that period. And then at different times, they lump sort of 4 or 5 years together, and we were certainly at a different stage and made a significant choice to reset the footy club. So we understand that, but we certainly feel in a different space. We've put more demand on our group, and they've accepted it, and that's why they'd be disappointed today. And I think, if this was 4 years ago with a young team, and you sit there and say, it's okay, let's just go again, but we'll cop this on the chin and get back to work, and they understand the ramifications for a performance like that. And again, we said, as we didn't get too high the last few weeks, we're not going to get too low. We'll get back to work like every other team. We know that. And we've got Hawthorn Footy Club on Sunday at Heritage Bank Stadium. So look forward to getting back to our home ground. It'd be nice. We haven't been there for 6 weeks, 7 weeks, so it'll be good.
How big a fortnight is the 2 weeks coming up in Hawthorn and Carlton back home?
Yeah, I'll keep it to Hawthorn for now, and worry about the rest later. But as we've seen, they're starting to play the way Mitch wants them to play. They look like they've got good spirit, playing for each other and enjoying their footy. So we're going to make sure we make it uncomfortable for them and get our process right and get that outcome shifting to our way.
How's Joel Jeffrey look like? Mum being ankle?
Yeah, ankle or foot is all the information I've got at the moment. So fingers crossed. I think, we went back out and then came off, and obviously with the score going that way and you know, we brought Witsy off for a bit there at the end, and Sam Collins. So, you know, it's always one of those ones. You know, when you know percentage is important, it's a fine line. You don't want to leave Witsy off for too long, but then you're like, you know, there's bigger things at play, and we're able to hold up. I guess it didn't get away any more than from when he came off. But Joel will just be an assess, I'm assuming. Yep.
Any other injuries?
No, not that's come up straight away. I'm always reluctant because if you haven't spoken to the doctors, sometimes there's surprises, but expecting none.
Tom Berry, that was just tactical.
Yeah, I think we just changed the mix, unfortunately for Tommy. So we had Alex there, fresh legs, and as you saw, I think we started the next centre bounce with Will Powell in there, in the centre bounce. We've been talking about it for a little while. We think he could offer something in that role, and didn't mind it. So again, in unfortunate circumstances, we had a look at another player in that as a mid. I think he'll progress to that position on the ground at some stage, and today he had a bit of a look and got a taste. So, and we put Nick Holman in there. I think, no surprise that he came off with a blood rule again. So he's always going to put his head in the hole and fight it out to the end. Thank you.